Bang in the middle of this controversy is the contentious Article 370. So what exactly is Article 370? Well, it is a temporary provision which grants autonomous status to the state of J&K. Article 370 of the Indian Constitution is a temporary provision which grants special autonomous status to J&K under a part of the Constitution of India which deals with temporary, transitional and special provisions. The state of J&K has been accorded special status under this particular article. All the provisions of the Constitution which are applicable to other states are not applicable to J&K. The provision was drafted in 1947 by Sheikh Abdullah, who had by then been appointed Prime Minister of J&K by Maharaja Hari Singh and Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, under the provisions of Article 370, according to this article, except for defence, foreign affairs, finance, communications, Parliament need the state government's concurrence for applying all other laws. Thus, the state's residents live under a separate set of laws, including those related to citizenship, ownership of property and fundamental rights as compared to other Indians. As a result of this provision, Indian citizens from other states cannot purchase land or property in the state of J&K. And under Article 370, the centre has no power to declare financial emergency in the state. It can declare emergency in the state only in case of war or external aggression. The union government can therefore not declare emergency on grounds of internal disturbances or imminent danger unless it is made at the request or with the concurrence of the state government. Well, moving on in the bulletin, Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, has passed his first ordinance to save the job of a top babu in the Prime Minister's office. Now, this was news first broken on headlines today, where an ordinance to ensure Prime Minister Narendra Modi's principal secretary stayed eligible for his job. Nripendra Mishra has been chairman of telecom regulator TRAI in 2006 and 2009, and according to rules, top regulators are ineligible for any central or state government job after retirement. But Narendra Modi has chosen Mishra as a key advisor, and his government has now passed its first ordinance to ensure Mishra stays. Congress has slammed the NDA government for taking the ordinance route.
Joining us now is General Secretary and Media in charge of the Congress, Mr. Ajay Makan. Sir, the very first thing which the Congress has done, the BJP government has done, it has promulgated an ordinance to benefit a particular officer which the Prime Minister wanted.
Well, without going into the merits of the officer, because as we know that the officer is very honest and upright, but the larger question which arises is that without even taking concurrence of the cabinet, the Prime Minister, using his own emergency powers, has sent in for an ordinance to Rashtrapati ji for being promulgated. This is something which is very strange, and the very first day of assuming charge, Mr. Modi doing it just for his own principal secretary is something which is very surprising. The very same BJP was opposing Congress party when we got in the food security ordinance which benefited crores of people of our country, the poor people. The very BJP opposed our ordinance route when we wanted to bring in ordinance for various corruption, anti-corruption measures. So the BJP, which was against Congress for promulgating ordinance against corruption, bringing in food security ordinance, what BJP has to say now when the Prime Minister is using his own emergency powers to appoint his own principal secretary, without going into the merits of Mr. Mishra, who we all know, we agree that he is an upright, honest officer, but the route which the Prime Minister on the very first day, the BJP Prime Minister on the very first day has taken is something which we would condemn.
Sir, unprecedented hurry because, the Parliament session will start very soon, next 2, 3, 4 days.
Then what? He should have waited for the Parliament also, he could have waited for the Cabinet to take a decision on this. The Cabinet could have been convened earlier. The Cabinet could have taken decision. On this, he could have also sensitized the leaders of opposition. So all such things, he should have taken I think, adequate precaution.
Thank you, sir, for speaking to us. That was Mr. Ajay Makan telling us what was the reason for this unprecedented hurry. In Delhi, Ashar Khan for Headlines Today.